folks, we have another one. Another deliverance ministry. Okay, lesson. Two Florida teens fighting over Christmas gifts. One ends another one's life after one shoots and unalives sister for intervening about an argument about her having too many gifts from the mother.
These young kids getting spats like this, and of course I'm saying this sarcastically because he's all mad at his brother about what his brother was getting and is not getting. He stood in the doorway and he took out his .40 caliber semi-automatic handgun and told him he was going to shoot him in the head.
What did he just say? 14 and 15-year-olds. One pulled out a .40 caliber handgun. Oh, this is unreal, but it's real.
So you got the 14-year-old who's mad at the 15-year-old because mom's not buying equal amounts of gifts. He was calling her a whore and all kinds of other stuff, and stated that he was going to shoot her and that he was going to, quote, shoot the baby too.
A fight between siblings that turned deadly on Christmas Eve, investigators say shockingly began as an argument over who got more presents.
This family is going through an extremely tough time right now after losing a 23-year-old mom of two just a day before Christmas. Hours ago, they honored her life about a mile from here with a candlelight vigil. That's where I spoke to her mom off camera. She tells me that she was there when the shooting happened and is just trying to process all of this. But tonight, this family wants Abrielle Baldwin to know that she is loved and her kids are taken care of.
Just in the beginning, you all, I see certain spirits here that are screaming out to my ears. You know, my ears. Yes, they're screaming out to my ears. I have here the spirit of anger, jealousy, murder, and strife is screaming out very loud to me. Furthermore, I'm not going to stray from the Lord. I'm just going to go on ahead and listen to him. He's speaking loudly in my ear. Strife is at the top of this list. Angry or bitter disagreements over fundamental issues, conflict, strife within the community, ethnic and civil strife. Okay, amongst siblings. Here you have the definition.
At this point, maybe it's me, family, because I just don't get it. Imagine.
And yes, Lord, thank you for the word of knowledge, for the spirit of wisdom.
Imagine being 13, 14, 15 years old, thinking you so gangster you gotta carry your firearm, but you mad about presents your mommy got you on Christmas.
This is not proving nothing except that they're children, 14 and 15 years old. Their brain is underdeveloped.
But who do you blame? Because later you'll see in the video that it was known to the family members and friends that these two teenagers, 14 and 15, carry firearms. Fam, I thought I grew up fast, man. But carrying a firearm at 13, 14, and 15, and having that as my reputation, nah, I ain't grow up that fast. And try to find out what a 13, 14, 15-year-old involved in, that they have to have a firearm every day, and it's a known fact.
The obvious first sign also, considering these children's circumstances from their environment, their situation, day in and day out, okay, there's an abnormality, okay. Y'all know I chop up words sometimes, but abnormality. That means something that is not normal. Okay, so then with these keys that you have now, okay, you're spotting this out. Okay, so there's a possibility of the demonic, the oppression, because of the environment, the circumstance.
And normally when that's the case, you're involved in some street beef, you would think. Or you're in the neighborhood banging, 13, 14, or 15.
That's from the outside looking in. But remember, this is deliverance ministry, y'all. So let's go deeper. Let's go spiritual. Let's go to the eternal or the internal. Okay, so, okay, he's speaking about the background history. Okay, so we have a little bit of information. We have a prognosis. Now let's do a diagnosis. Okay, it seems like there's a lot of trauma there. There's fear there. Also, maybe perhaps, well, of course, neglect and poverty. Okay, because why do children get into gangs? You tell me. Many reasons, but you tell me. I want to tell you something, okay? Trauma causes demons, but the spirit of fear opens the door for the demons to come through. Do you get it?
Fam, I got the neighborhood they from, and I might got the answer why they was carrying a firearm. But when you not really in the streets, you got situations like this. You putting a firearm that you use on your sister for Christmas gifts on social media just to flaunt it and use it.
You can see behind me in the photograph, DeMarcus, again the 14-year-old, recently posted a photo to Snapchat pointing the gun that he used to kill his sister.
After what you learned, have you or are you able to identify the spirit of murder? This is murder, the spirit of murder.
At the camera. So this is within the last couple days, and this is a Snapchat photo. That's DeMarcus pointing that gun, which is this gun, which we...
Let's take a minute of silence. Let's hit that subscribe button, that likes button, if you're enjoying the content and you are learning.
Over there at the scene, which is the gun that he used to kill his sister.
So then I tell you, hey, family, we're going to Florida, in Pinellas County, right next to the water, in a neighborhood called Ridgecrest, Baskins. I would then assume you would ask me, so how was the neighborhood? Fam, it's okay. Of course, there's crime everywhere. They known for theft and break-ins in the open carry state, which result in a lot of firearms being stolen out of people's cars by teenagers, which could possibly be how these two underage teenagers carrying firearms.
Used to shoot DeMarcus has not been recovered. Again, when he ran, he tossed it in the backyard. We've searched that area out there. We can't find it. And the unfortunate reality is it's probably going to be used in the next crime because somebody probably picked it up, and there are all kinds of people over there. And as I'm going to talk about here in about 1 second, there's way too many guns out there on the street. Way too many crime guns out there. Way too many stolen guns. Everybody's got a gun these days.
Because this is lawlessness. We are in New World Order, folks. This is Gen Z. I mean, these children are doing this, virtual reality thing until they F around and find out. Okay, one gets popped, and then they understand the trauma, the dread sets in, and then they see that it's reality. This is not GTA. Or better yet, San Andreas. What is that video game that they play?
And the sad part is that thing's going to be used in another crime because somebody picked it up.
Now, I thought that background information was important before we go over this story, family. We got a mother who lost 3 of her kids the day before Christmas.
The gravity of the devastation is no different on any other day, folks. Remember, this is a God-fearing channel for Jesus Christ, and so Christmas is pagan, but on to say let's move forward. Any other day, it's bad to lose your children.
Her daughter, who was a mother of 2, lost her life to her brother, and the brother that's responsible was shot by the other brother. 2 rounds, 1 deceased, 2 going to jail for murder, while 1 fighting for their life and 1 in a mental facility. As we mentioned, 2 brothers, 14 and 15, face M charges after an argument over who was getting more presents led to a shooting that killed their sister, a mother of 2, on Christmas Eve. Pinellas County Sheriff had quoted that the family spat had begun during a shopping trip in Largo. When the family returned to the home of the boy's grandmother in the 2300 block of 22nd Avenue in Southwest, the teens were still arguing.
Now remember, church, remember secular strife. That is the spirit that the Lord gave me. The definition that he gave me, the Holy Spirit told me. Angry or bitter disagreement over fundamental issues, conflict, strife within the community, ethnic and civil strife.
Standing in the kitchen, DeMarcus Cooley, 14 years old. He pulled out a 40 cal semi-automatic handgun and aimed it at his brother, 15 years old, Darkus Cooley, threatening to shoot him in the head, according to the sheriff. The teen's uncle separated the boys, telling DeMarcus to step outside. The sheriff said a neighbor outdoor camera captured audio of their sister, Abrielle Baldwin, 23 years old, as she tried to intervene. The sister had quoted, "You all need to leave that stuff alone. Why are you trying to start it? It's Christmas." At about 1:45 p.m., DeMarcus yelled threats at Baldwin and then shot her in the chest The round went through her left arm before puncturing her lungs. At the time, Baldwin was holding her 10-month-old baby, who was not injured. After hearing the gunshot, Darkus ran outside, screaming about how DeMarcus had shot their sister. Just 8 seconds after the fatal shot rang out, Darkus fired a round at his brother with his own .45 caliber pistol. The 15-year-old had threw the gun in a neighbor yard and ran to a relative home in Clearwater, where deputies later arrested him at. Darkus made statements about self-harm and was taken to a mental health facility. Baldwin was taken to Largo Medical Center, where she passed away. May she rest in peace and love and condolences to her family. As we mentioned, she was a mother of 2. Her oldest son was 6 years old. DeMarcus was taken to a hospital where he underwent surgery, later moved to a juvenile detention center. The sheriff had quoted to the local news station, "This is what happens when you got young delinquents and they carrying guns. They get upset. They don't know how to handle stuff, so they just pick up their guns and start shooting each other." DeMarcus Cooley is charged with first-degree M, child abuse, and being a minor in possession of a firearm. Darkus Cooley is charged with attempt first-degree M and tampering with physical evidence. Now, the state attorney office is reviewing the case and deciding whether to charge either as an adult. Because of the serious nature of the crime, the Times is naming the juvenile suspects. Family members, including the uncle, told investigators the 2 boys routinely carry guns. Investigators are trying to determine if the gun DeMarcus used was stolen. Deputies have not recovered Darkus' handgun. He said he feared someone else took it before deputies could find it, and said, "Part is, I think it's going to be used in another crime." And on top of that, authorities say the 2 teens both have criminal history.
Is that both DeMarcus and Darkus carried guns.
Could you imagine underage children running around with guns that people use in the army, or adults use for self-defense, or for what I'm saying? Could you imagine that? They probably was wreaking havoc on the community. The old people was probably scared, and the young people. Like, these ninjas is crazy. Like, just ravenous dogs, like it says in the Bible.
All the time. They routinely carried firearms on them. People knew it. That's what they did. And a lot of it, they claim, is because of recent ongoings in the Ridgecrest Baskins area where they were accosted. And we've had a number of incidents I'll talk about in a second over there in the last couple of months. But again, these young kids, 14, 15 years old, routinely carry firearms. And this is what happens when you got young delinquents that carry guns. They get upset, they don't know how to handle stuff, so they just take out their guns and start shooting each other, and one of them kills his sister, who's a mom to a 10-month or 11-month-old baby and a 6-year-old boy. So how are they getting these guns? Well, it's real easy. They're getting them because they're either buying them on the street cheap, and they're all stolen guns, and for these 2 guys, they're getting them because they're stealing them from unlocked cars. They're out in the middle of the night doing car burglaries. Both DeMarcus and Darkus were arrested for committing numerous car burglaries in Oldsmar, where they live on Westminster Avenue, back in May of this year. DeMarcus, the 14-year-old, has arrests dating back to when he was 12 years old. Think about this. He has arrests dating back to when he was 12. He's only 14 now, okay, but 2 years ago he has arrests for being a minor in possession of a gun, grand theft auto, loitering and prowling, disorderly conduct, battery on a school employee, and battery on a law enforcement officer. He's only 14. Darkus was also arrested in May for committing numerous auto burglaries. Many of those cases are still pending. In the dispositions with DeMarcus previously, is that what's he get? Probation. The problem is you got way too many kids out there with way too many guns, and they're getting them because they're buying them on the street cheap, $50 for a gun, whatever, breaking into cars, and they're stealing the guns out of the unlocked cars. And I've talked about this a long time, and those of you who have been around here for a while remember going back now to December of 2014, Charlie Condek, Tarpon Springs police officer, shot and killed. Where did the gun come from that killed Officer Condek? An unlocked car burglary, because people leave their guns in their cars. And these punks, these thugs, go out and break into the cars, they take the guns, and they use them for crime, and they kill people, like they killed Charlie.
This ain't all just carjacking and taking guns out the car. I know where he is trying to go with this, and don't go there. You are able to carry a gun, or the amendments should cover your rights to carry a firearm for protection. However, not in the wrong hands of children. It stems from the parents also. Okay, because it starts within the home, so let's not get it twisted. Although I do agree with him on some things, but don't be fooled by the media. Remember, this is Tell Live Vision. I can go deep. These officers are in a brotherhood regardless. I'm not saying this is a bad man or anything like that. I'm not reflecting anything. I'm just saying, keep this in mind, because I teach you guys the word of the scriptures, what the Lord says, where these things originate from, and I don't want to get on the police force. So they sell these things. These things are illegal. They're already in the hands. Higher authorities bring them into the ghetto, into the community. Okay, so let's not get started. But however, let's continue.
Charlie Condek, and like DeMarcus Coley killed his sister. So just in the last 30 days alone, just in our system, and this doesn't include St. Pete Police Department, it doesn't include Largo Police Department, it doesn't include Pinellas Park Police Department, just in our system alone, and this is what was reported, and they're not all reported because people don't report them all. Just in our system alone in the last 30 days, we've taken reports where 17 guns have been stolen from unlocked cars. I get some people say, look, I can do what I want. I can leave my cars unlocked. I can leave my gun in my car. It's not the responsible thing to do, but they do it. And the problem is the thugs that are stealing them, and I agree with that. The problem is, don't steal people's stuff. But the reality is that you got punks like this out there, criminals out there like this that are doing it and going to do it, and then they're going to go and hurt people. And people can't leave their car doors unlocked and leave their guns in their cars.
I 100%, if I'm saying it correctly, agree with him on that. But I'm just trying to say, don't deflect. It's not coming from, that might be in one region, one area, or out there where you're at, sir. But everywhere in America, and yeah, you should lock your car door. Please do that. That's stupid. That's ignorant. Who wouldn't do that? And I got something worth of value and something that could kill somebody in my car, in my possession, on my person, in my vehicle. No, you don't do that. But at the same time, let's not deflect. These guns are getting into America, the United States, over the border, from here to there, illegally, from the cartels, from the higher authorities, the police bringing it in for money, and whoever else. It gets into the hands of the street people, and then the street people, they ain't doing nothing but recycling it, passing it on to the kids. Why would they care? Why would they have any ethics about their morale, about their self, and they're out there being lawless, breaking the law? Come on.
It's got to stop. See, you couple that with, since September, just in the Ridgecrest Baskins area alone, which is where this happened, a couple miles to the west of here, we've had 13 shootings or incidents involving guns in that area. And according to everybody, everybody's carrying guns over there. All these kids are carrying guns. And again, they're getting them from where I just said. So this proliferation of guns on the streets and guns in this area and guns in the hands of these kids, this is the worst I've ever seen it. I don't think we've ever seen it this bad. I really think that we need tougher laws to deal with these kids. As you can see with their criminal histories, they are not getting the consequences that they should get.
That's true though. Lock they butts up. Lock them all up for right now. You ain't got no deliverer. It ain't no church in you. It ain't no Jesus in you. It ain't no God in you. So you ain't got no good in you right now. You on the other side of the law, in the wrong camp with Satan. So yeah, for just like them angels got tied up and they got chained up down there, you got to go too, because that's who you rolling with. You rolling with Satan, because Jesus is good. He is the way, the truth, and the life. Okay? He doesn't kill or destroy, or excuse me. The Lord does not kill or steal or destroy. He comes to give you life and give it to you abundantly. That is John 10:10.
The Florida legislature in the upcoming legislative session will get serious about it and will pass legislation that will hold these kids accountable and help us to slow this down. Because if we don't slow it down, we got a big problem. And I've never seen it as bad as it is with the number of crime guns that are on the street and the number of shootings and the number of people that we come across that are illegally carrying guns. And again, they're getting them out of unlocked cars. That's primarily where they're coming from. And all we can do is ask people, really plead with people, don't leave your guns in the unlocked cars. Enough of this. You get arrested because you got a gun, you steal a car, you hit a cop, battery on a school board employee. That was another charge that DeMarcus had. You got all this stuff, and what happens to him? Oh, well, he's only 14. He really doesn't understand what's going on. We'll just give him probation. It's not working. Their mom's dead. You don't ever get undead at the hands of a punk who was upset because he didn't get enough Christmas presents from his mom. And it's ridiculous.
Oh, it's more than that. See, that's the outside. But see, on the inside, yeah, that's all it took is yes, I agree. The trigger for the enemy to step in and use this boy. Remember, we are host for the demons, for the demonic, for the devils. They need a host. These are disembodied spirits that oppress and depress people and torture people and persuade them to do things, and then they actually react and do these things. And normally they black out. Sometimes they don't. It depends on how much oppression for the possession is on the individual. And being so young without a mind which is altered and split into many fragments, ain't no telling, because I'm not in front of this boy actually analyzing him, and I'm not a psychiatrist, but yes, Jesus is the truth. Now we can go deeper, but I'm not. We're gonna stop this deliverance lesson right here. I know that you gained some knowledge and that your brain was illuminated. Now keep this knowledge and make sure you subscribe to my channel. And I love you all with Jesus' whole heart. God bless. Just remember, subscribe to Morona Prophecy and I'll be back. Don't be a hater. I'm not hating on you, so don't hate on me. I'll be back.